Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for joining us today. My name is Rashmita, and I'm the event planner for Microsoft Reactor India. This session will run over the next 60 minutes, including Q&A. But before we begin today's session, please take a moment to read our code of conduct. We are all here to learn together, so please be respectful of other people's views, understanding of differences, being kind and considerate in the way you engage. The chat section will be open throughout, and we do encourage you all to participate. So please feel free to drop all your questions in the chat section. Let me bring in Golaknath, our speaker for today's session. There you go. Hey Golaknath, you
Yeah,
need to share
hi.
your screen. Hi, hi.
Yeah, let me share my screen. Let me know if you guys can see my screen. Share screen. I don't have two monitors, so I'm sharing my entire screen.
Mhm.
Let me know if everyone can see my screen.
Yep, let me add. Yes, we can see your screen. You can just click on the hide button down and then we are good to go.
Okay, perfect. I'm presenting now some ritual or high level information. Then later I will turn off my camera so that with interest of time and with interest of how the bandwidth is all about, it will behave. So that's why. Hello everyone, and thank you so much Microsoft Reactor India giving me opportunity to present about Dynamics 365 Contact Center. And today, as the name or topic you can see, we will start with Kickstart Dynamics 365 Contact Center. And some information about me, I think it's a kind of ritual I'm saying. I am Goloknath Mishra. I'm associated with currently NCS Singapore, and I'm also Microsoft MVP, MCT, and I have books, a couple of I have Udemy instructor. So more or less, you can do the QR scan to know about me. In that note, that's all from introduction part. Let's deep dive into the topic what we are going to discuss. But before that, I prefer to turn off the camera so that everyone should not face any issue. Smita, let me know if everyone can see my screen. Um,
Yes.
okay, perfect. So actually, let's come to Dynamics 365 Contact Center. If you can see this slide, it is presenting. This is just about what exactly Dynamics 365 Contact Center is bringing and where it is bringing the additional features. You can see reliability, it is adding SLA for core culling functionality 99.999%. Latency improvement, it is doing 89%, 34% in agent addition, 62% improvement in outbound call. Scale 5K concurrent call per contact center instance. This is actually, it's tested. It's from Microsoft Contact Center, also utilizing Dynamics Contact Center, what I understand. So that's why it is whatever the testing done from Microsoft point of view, these parameters you can see. And coming into that, I'm not going to this architecture discussion at this moment of time. As the topic is Kickstart, let me kickstart. To start with Dynamics 365 Contact Center, you can see this screen. This is actually, I have created an instance. If you want to create a Dynamics 365 Contact Center, first you have to go to create the environment. How to create the environment, I think more or less I'm assuming you guys knows. If you don't know, okay, let me tell. You can start from here. You can just Google Dynamics 365 free trial. Okay, as an initial stage, my recommendation, you can start with a trial. Subsequently you can play around if you want. If you really like it, you can go ahead, subscribe it, and make it full licenses. Okay, coming up with the trial part, you can just go to this licenses part. If you can see Dynamics 365 Contact Center here, you can click this try for free. And I'm just making this session, it's like, it's not like pure presentation or pure demo. It's, we will go with the flow. So that's why you can click this Dynamics 365 Contact Center try for free. Once you click try for free, you will see this kind of screen. Then I don't know, some issue with my browser maybe. So once click this, it will redirect you to a page. You see here, it will ask you, you enter your mail ID. Okay, so let's say if your mail id is not a office mail id, okay, in that case it will ask you to create an account. Okay, so I'll just give some example. For instead of this, I'm going to put something yahoo.com, for example. You see here, please enter work for best trial experience. Okay, it is saying. But again, if you don't want, uh, if it is you still want to go ahead with this, then you can see there is an option, set up a new account. You just click this set up a new account. You can go ahead and create an account within the on Microsoft domain. Okay, you put your email ID, accordingly you go ahead, next, whatever the steps it will provide. And it will ask you to map your card information, to be very honest, just to identify you are the uh, genuine person. So that's why they mapped. But any point of time, you have the rights to cancel the card also once it is created. So this is where is all the rituals and the processes where you can kickstart a contact center trial environment. Once you created your trial, I'm not going here. Once you created your trial, you will see they once the trial is created, you can see this is the landing page. Basically it will not open here, actually it will open, I have already created, that's why it is showing here. It will come to here, contact center workspace. Okay, once it is available, you can see this is your contact center workspace. And in workspace you can see this is how the screen looks like. Okay, so once you have this screen is ready, then you can see this is my work items, this is my knowledge search, it is available here. You can toggle it, and you can see this is the agent scripts. If anything is there, then this is your copilot. Okay, so this is the work items. Now you can open your left navigation also by clicking this. In the left navigation, you can see all these features and capabilities are there from the agent point of view, from team lead point of view, from manager point of view. Let's go actually what features are available here from end user experience point of view. Then we will go how to configure and other things. I think let's follow that path, it will be easy to communicate. So if you can see, this is the inbox, it's a built-in inbox which started initially. If you see, you can do the chat, you can do this conversation. Actually I will show the demo actually how you can initiate the chat. Now coming back to the customer service historical, you can see this is called customer service historical analysis reports or dashboard, anything you can see. It's generating, it's 1 minute. Okay, so by the time this is customer service historical dashboard, this is knowledge analytics dashboard, this is also coming up. Let's give some time. This is omnichannel historical conversion. Okay, omnichannel historical dashboard. And once you can see, this is omnichannel real time. So all these dashboards actually, as the name suggested, you can see customers omnichannel historical analysis. Basically this is giving Dynamics 365 is a CcaaS, contact center as a service. So as a CcaaS point of view, it has omni-channel capability. You can see multiple channels are there. You can see the historical analysis, and I created this instance recently. That's why it is taking a little bit of time. If it is created, you will see it's a very nice looking dashboard. Actually, it comes up. Okay, for me, as I think recently it is created, that's why it is taking time. So you can see this mention initial setup can take up to 24 hours. So once it is there, the dashboards are there. But anyways, this is one of the features which always team leads or team managers or agents want to see as they are start of the day, right? Agents want to see what is their open items they have to do, and team lead want to see, or managers want to see actually how the agents are performing, how much aht, how they handle, how much time they are taking, what is the behavior. They can do the call barging, they can do the call analytics. All these analytics they basically want to see, and this is where actually all these dashboards provides all these informations. Okay, so this is historical, you can see customer service historical. This is knowledge analytics, this is omnichannel, and these are real-time analysis dashboards. Now coming back to the queues, you can see these are the queues. If let's say if I want to park any agent to any queue, you can configure here using the queue. Okay, so now after the queue, the personalization is there. The personalization you can do using the personal settings. And now coming back to personalization point of view, activities, contacts, account, it's quite standard. If you I believe you guys already saw dynamics customer service, it's more or less same. I'll say in this way, those who have seen already. If you see, this is the account profile, how exactly account information. Any account, typically I will say, those who don't know dynamics or any crm account, typically it's all about the, you can say it's a company information kind of thing. Okay, that's why if you see, it's a company websites and all these details with the interactions with details. If you go to detail, you can see other information related to that. So now coming back to contacts, it's individual person, individual personal information. So if you can see, as part of the trial, this is the one person they have given. So means Microsoft spin up for me, you can see this is how the form looks like. General information this side, the interactions, whatever interactions has done so far, you can see in the center pane. Okay, so this is what is all about the timeline. Now these are all related cases it is showing. When I go to details, you can see the detail information. Let's say if you want to know a lot of communications or conversations happen, you don't have time actually literal to scroll through across. So you can click this copilot, it will summarize for you what exactly happened and what is the communication is all about. You can see a customer inquired about the cleaning instructions, so on. So the customer reported inconsistent water flow from their smart brew systems, causing quality issues and so on. So that's what the beauty of Copilot, which is it's a generative AI. Copilots are there now. It is agentic world, so across the ecosystem, you can see a lot of agents are there. So now coming back to the chat experience point of view and other parts, it's quite standard. Knowledge articles, knowledge search, you can see here. Email signature, email templates are there also. Like if you want, you can use that. For example, this is the agent experience. Agent is online available for the time being. Now let's say I want to talk to this system, I want to talk to this agent. How you can talk to the agent? Actually, once you set up your calls and other things, okay, I'll show where exactly you can see. Later we will go on the setup part. So but if you see contact center admin module, right here, if you see, there are channels. Okay, once the channels are set up, you can see everything is there. I have already done the setup of the channels. If you can click this manage, you can see. But unfortunately voice is not enabled because just to highlight, as my tenant is not in US time zone, I cannot see that voice, what I understand so far, because I cannot get a free trial of the voice, but all other channels are available for me. So let's check one channel communication, how exactly it is happening. Now you consider this is one of the agent. Okay, one of the agent, I'm there here online. You can see status is online, name is Kulaknath. Okay, so now if I go to this channel part, I created a basic HTML website. If I click this website, nothing but it's when you set up this channel, it will give a snippet of the code. Okay, you embed that code in your website. You can see I embedded this into my websites. Live chat support, it open up this kind of chat. Okay, This is opening. An agent will be with you in a moment. It's saying, right? So now let's go back and see how exactly the agent experience is coming. I'm going to my contact center part to give my availability. You can see here, when I open the chat window, it is saying a chat request from visitor 1. Okay, you have to accept or reject. Let's say, for example, I'm accepting this chat request. You can see my status changed to busy. Okay, now you can see at the very first, I'm trying to highlight actually how seamless it is, the communication other parts. And I'm not going to configuration and admin part for the timing. I'm just doing the agent's activity for the time being. Okay, so if you see the agent activity point of view, my chat initiation started. I'm saying hi. Okay, I started the conversation. You see Goloknath Mishra has joined the conversation. Hi, I'm just toggling my websites. So okay, I want to inquire. I'm just typing some randomly, just to give the demo. I want to check my travel something. I'm assuming I'm the travel agent. See, this came to here. It's like live chat. Okay, live chat enabled. Sorry, I am not aware of. I'm just making to show how AI also there. You can see the status, it is neutral, right? I'm just doing some conversation. Sorry, I'm not aware of your information as system is not showing anything. Can you help me to provide more information? Okay, so far the status still neutral. I'm behaving like I got irritated. Okay, so it's frustrating. I'm saying it's frustrating. You see now, it keep change. It changed slightly negative. I'm saying my sincere apology. Shall I transfer this to my manager? I don't want, and it's really frustrating. And in future, I am not going to avail any facility of your organization. I'm leaving. Thanks. Bye. Okay, so here now you notice what happened. The sentiment changed to negative. Okay, so I am closing this. Do you really want to close this chart? Close. Okay, chat got closed. See, customer has ended the conversation. Okay, what you notice, the sentiment it is showing, and after end of the conversation it is literally giving you the summary of the things also. So you can see, you can real time, you can get the sentiments, and after end of the conversation you can get the summary also. Okay, what what is the summary of this and how, what happened exactly. If you want to trigger any email or anything, you can just copy over and start your email conversation. That's the beauty of the omnichannel's live chat capability. Now let's come how we can configure the contact center capability and call center capability. Uh, as it is a trial, as I mentioned, I cannot do, but still I'll try to show how you can configure. Okay, So in this is what the chat is ended, and I also end the conversation. Close. Okay. Okay, one thing I missed to highlight. Okay, let me open once this to highlight one more thing. Agent will be with you. I'm accepting this. So if you notice here, right, once the chat started, you can see there are a lot of options actually within the live chat also available. Okay, you can see here summarization is there. Here, select text from list of replies, you can select. View ways to transfer this chat. You have the option actually transfer to someone else. Okay, to this whatever the things, I don't have much, so that's why it is showing this transfer to whom. So you can transfer these charts also during live conversation. I just done one-to-one chat and closed. I missed to show this, that's why I just opened another chat. You can do this transfers also, and not only that, you can do the consultation also with someone else. Okay, but I don't have any contact center chat in queue, so that's why I cannot show. But when any contact center call center is configured, you can start conversation in call also, and even you can send attachment or anything you wish you can send. So this is where actually you can get the link, you can take notes and all this. So basically you can see end to end whatever the any charts live chat needed features or capabilities already it has built in. Okay, so this is where actually I'm just closing this. So this is the beauty of this live chat built in available, and it's quite seamless, quite easy to configure. When you first time set up, it will literally do setup for you, and it will ask that okay, it will ask actually to go ahead. Let me close this first. Okay, so after this we have done the chat session completion, and after that if you see I have I'm going to my insights. I'm checking if I can see that, then I can at least show you in the reports or dashboard. It will show the sentiments and how the conversation happened and other things. But I think it will take some time because I set up this instance today only. So yeah, this is what is all about from the chat conversation. Now coming back to the setup part, let's go to Dynamics 365. You see there is another app actually available, contact center workspace, which is current app, which will be accessed by your team leaders, your agents and all these things. Basically this is the workspace where the admins and the managers or whoever have the privilege to configure, they can go ahead do that in this app, which is called contact center admin center. Okay, you just go into this app, you can see it is having actually contact center admin center is having a lot of information or features to configure. Okay, so to configure all these, you can see there are admin settings and other things. So I'm just trying to go one by one. You can see it has admin settings, you can configure user skill serve, other lot of things are there. So before coming all this configuration, let's understand how the ecosystem is all about now, because we understand now from the experience point of view how it is. It has the capability. Basically the contact center agents can talk. I did not went through in details discussion because in this we will see how to configure the contact center. That's why I'm not going the operational side of that. Okay, so operational side, you can see how exactly the experience is all about. Okay, so now coming back to the structure or architecture standpoint, if you can see, this is how the ecosystem is all about. When end user communicate, it pass through session border control. This one we'll discuss actually what is session border control later, I will tell. Then signaling, media processing, it passed through signaling and media processing, which SCS or Teams is providing that capability. And then that is talking to your Dynamics contact center, which is having your customer service module also sitting there, and your agent experience is there, and as a front facing. Okay, and your bot capability, your bot authoring and dialogues, whatever you can build, either it is a chat bot or it is a voice bot. I'll rename it as a agent. It's a new name, so you can see either it's a voice agent or is a chat agent. You can configure that. Now let's understand where exactly. See, this is the Dynamics contact center ecosystem. So basically, whenever any interaction happen in the phone call, it pass through first PSTN. Okay, PSTN is nothing but public switching telephone network. So basically, who is the provider, telecom provider? They are the PSTNs. Actually, they are the providers. They will give you certain numbers. You can use that number for your calling. Let's say you see sometimes there are different hunting lines are there, right? In that case, you can see there are a lot of numbers you can configure through a single number redirection. That's where the queue and hunting line configuration comes. And now coming back to SBC, session border control, which is called SBC. SBC actually it's a conversion. I will say this SBC helps in converting the, if you see this ecosystem, I'll put in this way. Okay, so SBC actually works as a session border control whenever you are not using Azure Communication Services. In that case, you can, if let's say you have any existing number you want to use, and in that case you can use SBC, which will convert the voice signals to the uh, s- VoIP signals, so that ACS means Azure Communication Services can understand. It is done through direct routing. We will see how to do the configuration of the direct routing. So now SBC, if you are buying, there are two things. There are few regions where Microsoft can sell the mobile numbers. You can buy direct mobile numbers from Microsoft using Azure Communication Services. You no need any SPCs or anything. Okay, but if you have any dedicated number and you want to use that, and maybe it's not allowed as per telephone regulatory or whatever may be the reason, in that case you have to use it through SBC using your local numbers. Okay, this is where actually two-way you can do the communications. Okay, your voice calls, and this is how the ecosystem is all about. Now this is all about the conversation. This is where you see incoming call comes, session border control. As you see, it is mentioned customer or Microsoft, as I highlighted. Sometimes people use third-party SBCs. Like I can tell audio code, for example, they provide SBC. So here audio code will be the SBC provider where ACS, Azure Communication Services, will talk to them. Okay, so that's where is all about your SBC's role. Now ACS is there, Azure Communication Services, then it will, or Teams, Microsoft Teams can help to initiate the call, then transfer, then you can see all these capabilities coming into the play. And Dynamics contact center as a service, then your agent experience, it can be two types as I already highlighted. It can be chat messaging, it can be voice. Okay, so this is where is all about. You can see this diagram exactly saying what are the things it is passing through. SBC, session border control. One is SIP signaling. Let me show the pointer. You can see this is the SIP signaling going, and this is media is going. Okay. So in the SIP signaling, it is coming through this signaling and routing. It is passing through non-SIP related activities and media. A non-SIP point of view, it can be HTTP triggers, WebSockets, and RPC, and media, anyways, whatever the voice, the recordings, and all these things. Okay, then media processing is done, and all these things happen. So this is where actually the ecosystem comes, and this is the unified ecosystem where you can work collaboratively, I will say in this way. Dynamics Contact Center and Azure Communication Services you have to configure. Coming into that, then Copilot Studio, when you want to start the voice bot or chat bot and all these capabilities, or capabilities you can use. Now coming back, uh, going deep dive actually into details architecture point of view, you can see customer initiated the calls here, the voices, any omnichannels, any email cases tags, and when it comes automatic case creation, it has capability actually fraud detection. Okay, using nuance. So it helps to dynamics contact center can help to detect the frauds. Then intelligent conversational bots are there, which really provide the self-service capability. It, as you saw already, it has sentiment detection, then context, then other things it is already providing. Okay, so now when this comes, it how exactly it is helping. If there are no fraud calls, let's say for example, if we do fraud detections, it will definitely reduce the AHT time, because when call center agent, normally in any contact center point of view, right, call center agents has maximum work is to take the call, and they, as realistic call, they will be engaged, and that is the greater outcome organization will get. Let's say for example there are spam calls, maximum spam calls, for example any contact center agent is receiving, then in that case company is not getting out of that anything, and it is AHT is increasing by that time. And that's why the fraud, once it is having, because of the nuance fraud detection, it literally helping to reduce the AHT time. AHT means average handling time. Okay, so call center agents no need to hold on the call for longer duration, because fraud detection will preempt that part. It will not allow or pass through those kind of calls. Okay, and definitely it increases the security also. Okay, because as it is detecting the fraud, it will help this detecting the security. It is increasing the security. Then deflection rate also, as part of the bot, it is increasing the deflection rate. Then as the sentiment detection or the prediction is done, so it increases maximum first call resolution. Okay, normally in contact center or everywhere there is a KPI, they have FCR. As much first call resolution they will do, that is that much beneficial it is. Okay, so that's why if the detection and sentiment with AI backed insights everything in one place, then agent no need to hang up the call again, go and call again. Okay sir, we checked that, I checked that, this is the thing, this is happened, and this is what my analysis is saying. This is really helping them. Okay, no need to do multiple iteration, then one call, one shot, then and there they can close the case. Okay, so that's where the benefit is all about. And also, as the you see skill based and sentiment detection, other things are available, that's why it is bringing more routing accuracy, because as the right person is there in the call who is attending, then right outcome it will be. For example, I'm telling, it's one of the scenario, also a valid scenario actually. Let's say there is a call, and call got routed one person, I don't know, for example I know Mandarin. Okay, or I know Chinese, Mandarin, whatever you can say. But when the call routed to a person who don't know Chinese and I don't know English, so in that case, how the call will be more fruitful? Definitely I am going to transfer to someone who knows English. Okay, so this is where actually either the person, when you imagine when the IVR is telling in English and this person don't know, For example, you understand a scenario. My IVR is when I call, let's say, I know Chinese or Mandarin. I'm calling to the XYZ organization, and when I hit the call, my IVR is talking in English. I don't understand anything. Anyways, it's routed. It end up with some agent, live agent. For example, imagine in that case also, it will be really difficult for me to communicate. And at the end, what will happen? The agent will transfer to someone who knows that. And or else another scenario could be, it could be end of the call, and that brings the dissatisfaction of the customer, because I called but I'm not able to understand, I'm not able to communicate, then what I'm getting out of that? So this is where it comes the AI capability and detection of the sentiment, detection of the language, detection of the any kind of prediction, really helpful on this context. Okay, so now coming back to the next part, if you see attain higher service level with advanced prioritization logic, definitely SLA will increase. Means definitely I can finish that my things whatever my allocated time. It should not be going beyond out of that. And at the end, nothing but my customer satisfaction will increase. So CSAT will increase and ASAT will increase. Okay. So this is what the truly omni-channel contact center is all about, which Dynamics contact center is literally providing truly contact center capabilities. Okay, demand supply kind of thing. I think more or less we understand how exactly schedule callback, allow to drop off and hold. It's a kind of standard scenario across different organizations related to contact center. Okay, how we can reduce more abandon rate, because what happen, every customer has certain tendency. After that they will wait for certain time, and after that they will say, okay, I'm dropping off from the call. So this is where my call abandonment will come. And this will literally reduce actually if we can provide, or contact centers can provide the alternate workaround, like for example, divert to the voicemail who is able to understand, let's say generative AI back, like agents and voice agents are there who is really able to answer the question. So this will be really helpful on this context. Now coming back, looking into this business case discussion, let's understand what are the different types of transfers. It is again, it's a concept which is across, I think you already saw there is a scenario as I highlighted, I shown in the demo also, in the chat transfer is there, call transfer also similarly there. So call transfer has two types, it's a breeze transfer or on base transfer. Okay, so call ends for primary agent, call ends for the primary agents. But caller ID to external number is dynamic workspace phone number, caller ID to external is customer's phone number. This is just a difference to show what is breeze transfer and on base transfer is all about. Okay, so this is another part what I'm trying to say. Let's say if you want to configure the voice agent as I highlighted, if let's say there is a scenario, you have contact center agents limited, but you have huge call volume, and agents are now, voice agents literally can complement the contact center live agents. So you can spin up the voice agents also using Dynamics 365 contact center. So it has actually these 3-4 processes you have to follow. First, if you guys know Dynamics a Power Platform Copilot Studio, you can, it's literally faster and easy to create an voice agent. You can create an agent, you publish that agent and connect that to the Dynamics contact center and attach that to the work stream. And so once that is attached to the work stream, you can configure actually, okay, how many calls I can take, and after that let's route it to the voice agent. We'll see actually where you can configure that part, means the capability configuration, that is also there within Dynamics contact center. So once this is done, so voice agent is helpful in that context. You can configure this voice agent. Okay, now coming back to the packaging and pricing part, this part we will discuss later, but let's deep dive first into the configuration part. So in the configuration part, if you see, there are actually guided channel setups are there. you can do guided channel setup. If I'm just clicking this, it is literally give you the guidance is to how to start. But anyways, I'm not going to that. First, whenever any contact center you have to start configuring the channels, right? You will configure the channels. Once you configure the channels, you can see these are the channels are configured here. Okay, so chat is configured, social is configured, SMS and Microsoft Teams is configured for me, my channels. Okay, so in this is my trial, so that's why I cannot see. But for the voice configuration, but you can do voice configuration. I have a screenshot. I'll show actually where how to do that. Now coming back to the overview part, you can see the user management. When you go to user management, you can see how many users are skilled and capacity profiles. All these you can configure. So if you go here, I'll let this load. So you can see here list of enabled users. Okay, so basically when admin will come, actually he no need to go to user management and other things. Every places there are navigations. For example, this is skills based. Okay, so this is it's also available here. You can configure. Now capacity profile. Capacity profile is which I was saying just few minutes before. Whenever any certain number of calls any agent can take, and after that you block it. You don't allow them to bombarded with lot of calls. So that's why you can create a profile, you can define the limit, and you then make it assignment block. Once you block it, they won't get. And you can configure for different streams. It's you can see this is default inbound stream, outbound stream is there. If you want, you can define your own profile. You can define actually work item limit, then what is the frequency. Okay, so this is what actually, and you can do the assignment blocking if anything you want. So this is what is all about your capacity profiles. Okay, now after the capacity profiles, let's see the channels. Channels having you can see channels has different record routing. For example, if you want to define, you can see here, for example, case you can define your routing rule, you can create your routing intake rule, you can create your work streams, you can create the routing rule set. For example, if you want to create an intake rule, you can define here the intake rule over here. Okay, you define your rule, you put the conditions, and actually where exactly you want to map. Okay, so you have to define here. So now workstream, we will see actually workstream section. It is here actually. You can see workstream can be inbound, outbound, and other things. Now coming back, sorry, coming to the chats and messages, it has also relevant things. If you can go to chats, see this is the live chat workstream. So if you see in as part of the my demo, I was done one live chat, right? So this is where it's all about. I don't have any fallback queue, so you can define your live chat, you can configure the live chat, and then you can add chat channel. If any channel you want to add, you can define here. You can see here detail information, you can configure next by next. Okay, then if any fallback rule you want to configure, fallback queue you can define here. Okay, now coming back work distribution, if you want to distribute and you want to put the capacity blocking, that also you can do. And if you want to add an agent, you can also add. Okay, so whenever required, you can transfer to agent so that customer frustration will not increase. That's capability basically it is saying. Okay, so now going back to this charts we saw, then messaging is all about any message channel. If you want to add, you can add. You see it is showing all quite standard channels are available. For example, Apple messages for business, Facebook, Line, Teams, and SMS and WhatsApp. If let's say anything is not fit within this, you still can configure a custom channel. Okay, so and you define the work stream, and accordingly you configure what is the language, behavior, and features, and subsequently you finish it. So this is how you can configure your messaging channel. Now going back to uh, queue part, you can define here advanced queue and basic queues. As I highlighted the queues, you can define what kind of queue you want to set up. Let's say voice queue or chat queue or whatever the queue, you can define giving its name and rules. Okay, so I'll just open one. You can see this is, for example, inbuilt it is given assignment method. You can define overflow handling. Everywhere, one thing you notice, everywhere it has handling and it has limitation. And what is the overflow rule? It has across channel ecosystem. It is there, okay, which is really required for any contact center capability. Now coming back to routings, the record routing, you can see this is the case and this is the voicemail. Okay, so now again going back to routing diagnostics, if anything you can see, this is nothing but this will really help in the troubleshooting part, actually this diagnostic part. Okay, so this is again, you can see this feature is deprecated as of that, so that's why I think this is removing, it's moving somewhere, maybe it's moving to Azure. So that's what I don't have that visibility. I need to see. The routing diagnostic is not moving away, but work streams, as you see, let's go. I'll go to work streams actually. AI agents are here. You can see whatever the agents you wish, you can configure. Like if you wish to add your own agent, you have already, for example, you have created a bot, you connect to the existing agent, or if you want to create a new bot, you create a new bot. So you put the name and accordingly you put the language and you go ahead. Okay, add voice to the bot, something, it's quite seamless. For example, I'm just creating for the sake of this, let's see how much it is going, language English, add voice to the bot, create. So if you see in the very first state, it is showing, it is also going to save in a Copilot Studio. Okay, if you notice on top, it is showing actually in the gray color. So that means this bot is created in Copilot Studio. So you have Copilot Studio, you can directly create, or you can start creating from here also, and then you can do your configuration in the Copilot Studio later. Okay, that's what I can say the AI agent part. Now coming back to the channels you saw already, I think we discussed all this. For me, it is not showing actually phone number. Okay, you see account below, right? There is a number will show actually in when you go full licenses, other things, you will see there is a number tab. Actually in messaging account, I don't see that. Okay, in this trial, intent setting also not available in trial. Then queues, I think this one we saw already. Routing work streams. Okay, let's understand the workstream point of view. Workstream point of view, you can define the workstream. uh, Actually you can define your routing rules, you can do your work distribution and bot. Okay, that's what you can do. Now coming back to support experience point of view, workspaces, there are different workspaces. You can create your experience profiles. Let's say you want to create a new profile, for example, each profile. Okay, let me show you here. If you see, it's created a certain profile that, okay, this profile person will take the call, and this person will do the live chat. So this kind of thing, you can create the setup profiles and you allocate users to that specific profile so that they can perform the certain capabilities or feature what you are defining to that profile. Okay, so here if you see it's a session template, for example, it's a session template defined, then what features he can do. Productivity pane, default mode is expanded, agent script on, join a Teams call, he cannot. Teams chat, no need for him. So that's why you see it is defining actually what is my profile's work, what actually I can do. Okay, so workspaces having the experience profiles, then session templates. Session templates are there actually. You can see there are different session templates. If you wish, you can also create your own session templates. For example, I just want to show you how exactly one session template looks like. So session template is nothing but if any session is there, how your communication panel will pop up. For example, any session is there, you want the communication panel means it's a the widget actually displayed, you want it to be hidden or it's minimized or docked, that you can do that configuration also, what kind of. Okay, so this is what is all about your session template. Now coming back to productivity and all timeout rules and all these things, email signatures you can still do in the ecosystem. Then knowledges, actually you can see there are huge lot of capabilities are there. To be very honest, 1 hour is literally difficult to complete all these capabilities. So my recommendation is you can go ahead, create a trial instance and try out what are the different capabilities it has. Actually literally it has end-to-end capability. Workspaces, for example, here you can add data synchronization from external CRM. You want to configure for example, you want to configure for Salesforce, you can do that actually. Okay, you can connect to any other, let's say Workday, you can configure that to that also. So this is where actually different capabilities you have, you can use. Then productivity point of view, you can see Copilot for questions and emails. This is all about the Copilot point of view. You can see, you can use basically how the Copilot will help, what kind of help you want from the Copilot, so that you can define here. Okay, for example, help write an email, you want help in writing an email, you configure accordingly. Include knowledge base, if you want to include, you define it. Okay, so this is where actually you can configure questions and email. For example, not only this, it has summary, you want, sorry, you want summarization, in that case you define, you can configure it accordingly. Then actually where exactly you want the summarization and how. When a representative join a conversation, when a conversation ends, on demand by selecting a button to summarize the conversation. So these are the different parts we can use for the summarization. So this is one of the capability. Now let's productivity summarization we saw, then plugins, Copilot for embeddable widget, proactive engagement, then message formatting you can do also. If let's say you want to define certain message formatting kind of thing, that also you can enable, you can turn on markdown also, and based on that accordingly the formatting will be used. So now coming back to productivity, reach messages, email signature, message templates, scripts. Let's say for example you want to add certain scripts to the agent, sometimes you want agent scripts, right? Whenever any chat, for example you want to define any script, here you see chat trial script. First, whenever any call happen, you have to greet to the customer, then verify, then knowledge articles, if any information you need to pull the information, that all step by step it is defined. So basically you can set up the different scripts also here. And this is collaboration is all about your chat and all capabilities. Now showing actually in the contact center how we will do the setup. Okay, let's go to that. So to go to that, actually I am showing you how exactly you can see, this is how the screen when you have full licenses, right? You can see like this. You have to configure. Initially it is not configured, you have to configure. Once you configure this, so you have to select each item. Let's say whatever you want to configure, you select that checkbox accordingly. Once the checkbox are selected, you will configure. For example, I selected the voice checkbox. Then how I have to set up the voice? Okay, once you select that, so you have to connect that to, as I highlighted, you have to connect that to Azure Communication Services or Teams. Let's understand Azure Communication Services, how we will connect through Azure Communication Service. When you see, when you configure that voice channel, you can see on top there is, it's not showing in this snapshot, you can see on top there is one advanced button. Once you click that, you can see how to connect to Azure Communication Services. You have to fill all this Azure Communication Services. What is the resource name, what is the resource ID, what is the connection string, grid app ID, and this. Let's see where you will get all this information. So I'm going to my Azure. So if you go to Azure, you can see either you can go directly to resource or you can search global search also, wherever you are confident or comfortable. Okay, you see communication services here, right, in Azure. So once you see the communication services, you can click on create. Once you click on create, you have to put your subscriptions, your this, and you keep note whenever you put the data location, means whatever the conversation communication you are doing, the recordings all will be stored in the specific location. So that's why you select accordingly. Okay, that's where you can select the resource name and location. Specifically the location is most important, and resource group. Okay, so now going back to communication services creation, I already created one Azure Communication Services. You can see this is my Azure Communication Services which I created. Okay, so once you create this Azure Communication Services, you can see once it is created, it is showing a lot of features. Okay, access control, tags, events, phone number, direct routing, which I was saying you can configure from SCS, right? This is where your direct routing is all about. Okay, so now let's understand. Start first where actually what are the things we need. SCS resource name, SCS resource ID. Okay, so you can go to properties, you can search here properties, for example whatever I created, you can see resource name, you copy this. Once your Azure Communication Services is created, you copy this name, paste here. Resource ID, copy this, paste here. Then connection string, you copy. Connection string is nothing but your key. Okay, you have to copy this key and paste. And then event grid app ID is nothing but you have to get that actually from your Entra ID. Okay, so you have to go to Microsoft Entra ID. You have to do app registrations. Okay, so here I did not do. You have to click this app registration, you click on new registration, and you always select accounts in any organization directory, any Entra ID and multi-tenant. Accordingly, whatever your ecosystem and ask, accordingly you select. And so once you do the app registration, you then configure here actually. Okay, which event grid app ID, that's what it is expecting, your app ID. Okay, this is where you will do your app registration. Once it is registered, and it will give you an ID, you just need to pass this. Okay, once your app registration done, and all this as I already told, how to, where to get resource name, where to get resource ID, where to get connection string, where to app ID. Once you've done, you acknowledge. Once it is saved, it won't throw any error. Now it is asking for this information. Okay, once you have all these informations, right, you have done the configuration. But still, when you see in the advanced, still you will see it is asking you to configure your recording. For example, this kind of screen you will see actually. Okay, this kind of screen it will ask. it will say, okay, your webhook is not configured. Recording, where exactly now you configure your channel through Azure Communication Services from contact center. Okay, but you have not configured where exactly your recording will be stored, an incoming call webhook, where exactly your webhook will be configured. So for that, you have to do webhook configuration. So for that, what exactly you have to do? I came here. You can see there is an event. In once Azure Communication Services is configured, right? You can see an event. Okay. Once your event, you click this event, you see there is a webhook also you can configure. So basically, you have to do event subscription. Okay, once you do event subscription, you put your name, schema name on all relevant information, system topic name, whatever it may be. Then endpoint type, you select webhook. Okay, so this is where actually you will configure your webhook, and once it is configured, then you pass that here. Okay, I think no need to pass. Once you configure it, it will be ready for you to use. Okay, so that means you have done your webhook configuration. Once you configure it, then this is how you can do your ACS, Azure Communication Service related conversation. Everything is ready, you can use. Okay, then number configuration you can do from the number section. And if you want to get that number, where exactly you will get that number, you can see there is a, this is the called phone number. Okay, so you have to come here, you can purchase the number directly from this. But if you see, that's why I told your current subscription is not eligible for PSTN and SMS products. So anyways, it's a trial, and whatever the subscription I have location basis, it's not available. So subscription eligibility, if I click this, it is showing, right? If your Azure billing is outside US, you are not eligible for acquire a trial phone number. Okay, this is the disclaimer, and this is the limitation I have currently. I have not created in US zone, and that's why my trial cannot access this. But anyways, whenever you are create, you are going to create full subscription, you can create, you can get avail the number, and you will see the pricing information also. Okay, you can purchase the number from here, you can go ahead the number configuration. Okay, once you got the number, then accordingly you configure that number as I told. You configure the same number here, channel. Here it is not showing one number section for me. Okay, below messaging accounts it will show a number. You can put your numbers over here, you can configure the number, which number you purchase from ACS. Okay, for example, this is what about you purchase from ACS, and we understand now how you will configure my voice call through Azure Communication Services. For example, I don't have ACS, I cannot do that ACS. Okay, from different geolocations, maybe Microsoft did not got approval to operate with the phone number as part of the telephone regulatory or whatever it may be. So then there is an option called direct routing. This is where you see, which I was saying, direct routing. When you click this direct routing, you can add a domain or connect a domain. So when you click this, you have to define a domain and enter the domain name and details. Once these details are there, you have to follow next processes. Then you see session border controls you have to configure, and voice routes have to configure. So how exactly that screen looks like, I cannot show that. Okay, so if you see somewhere like this, yeah, this is how it looks like. Okay, this is how it looks like. You have to configure your routes, how the routing will happen. Okay, session border controls and how the transfer will happen, how all these things will happen, and other things you have to define. Okay, so once it is done, you have to configure the number here. You see here I was saying actually a number, phone number, you see here channel phone number, right? channels, under channel you can see phone number. I don't see that actually because of some issue. Okay, you will see phone number, you just need to configure that phone number. Okay, once this is done, you are ready to take the call. Okay, this is how actually you will configure. And the configuration, two approaches we discussed. One is using Azure Communication Services and using third party or existing. Let's say some customer already have some number 11111111. They bought some provider. They don't want to buy again from Microsoft or whatever means. They want to use that. So in that case, you have to use session border controllers who will play the intermediary role to help uh, communicate with Azure Communication Services, and it will talk to your contact center. Azure Communication Services will talk to the contact center. Okay, so this is where you will configure your contact center, uh, phones and all these things. Now I think it's towards the last ritual. So the demo, whatever we see, the contact center capability point of view, this one we settled. But now the last but not the least most important part is the pricing. How exactly Dynamics 365 contact center pricing is defined? Dynamics 365 contact center packaging and pricing, basically they have, I'll say, they put pricing in such a way. You can see there is Copilot for service and all these are there. In my simple terminology, I will explain in this way. If you have customer service enterprise, then it will be quite easy for you to onboard. You just top of your customer service premium license. This is where the last one is all about. Okay, uh, this one, contact center. If you have customer service enterprise, means Dynamics CRM customer service, then you just top off enterprise to premium, you will have contact center capabilities. That is one option. If you are Dynamics customer service custom, that's customer service existing customer. Or else if you don't have, you have any other CRM, for example Salesforce or any other CRM or Sibyl or whatever it may be, you can connect through contact center. You can go ahead with standalone contact center licenses. Again, that also it depends if you really want full contact center or you want only voice capability or you want only message or omni-channel. It depends. That kind of thing you can take your call. Okay, so that's where actually it is helpful, and licensing high level depends on that. But still, if you want to know more details on that, I'd recommend you can refer Dynamics 365 licensing guide, which is quite extensive to give more information. But still, if any further information you want, you can reach out to respective salesperson from your respective geolocations. And in that note, I will say that's all from my end. Dynamics 365 contact center Kickstart point of view. I think to summarize what we covered in this session so far, let me summarize. We started with understanding the basics, how to install Dynamics 365 contact center, and we understand how we will configure Dynamics 365 contact center portions and some of the agent portions, and we understand how we'll configure Azure Communication Services, and through direct routing and through SES direct, means through SES or through direct routing, both ways how you can configure. Okay, and Copilot Studio bot, voice bot, we did not start today because with interest of time. So that is also one of the things. Those who knows Copilot Studio, it's quite simpler. You can just go ahead creating Copilot Studio. Using Copilot Studio, you can create your bot. For example, you can go to this is your Copilot Studio website. You can just go to that. You can start creating your Copilot agents. Okay, so in that note, any questions uh, Let me see if any questions. Rasmita, any questions?
I see there are. Is there
Okay.
any option of creating virtual agents?
Option of creating a virtual agents. Right. Yes, I just highlighted, right? Copilot Studio. This slide I highlighted. 1 minute. Yeah, I did not create it, but yes, you can create. So when you create the virtual agent, you have to create using Copilot Studio, then you publish and connect it to Dynamics Contact Center. Then you have to attach that to the stream, work stream. Okay. So in that way, to give you answer, yes, you can connect.
Okay, thank you so much, Goloknath, for hosting this session, and thank you all for joining us today. Please visit Microsoft Reactor website for more upcoming sessions. Also, please scan the QR code and do share your feedback. Today's event ID is 26074. Feel free to use the Learn module link. This will give you access to additional resources to take your learning further. Thank you all once again and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.